G'day guys and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we'll be going through my round 6 AFL tips and predictions for season 2023. And yes, I've been slack once again last week. Obviously the tips didn't get out, so this week we're back on and we're on early as well. So last week I got a total of 5 out of 9 tips correct, which is genuinely one of my best rounds of tipping for the entire year so far, and it's not even that great of a round. So today we'll go through all the Anzac round games. Before we do get into today's video, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like, also subscribe to the channel down below. It would really help out the channel a lot as we're trying to grow as much as possible in season 2023. So to start off the games for round 6, we head over to Optus Stadium to see the Dockers take on the Dogs. This is an interesting one because the Dockers are coming off a 10-point comeback win over the Suns, who have, well, they beat the premiers, the reigning premiers, and the Dogs got defeated by 14 points against the Power at Adelaide, which isn't a bad effort, and considering they were in the game until like the last 5 minutes, the Dogs, it's a pretty tough one to tip. Now, obviously, if you guys are new to the channel, I do go for the Dockers, so I'm never tipping against my own team. I'm tipping the Dockers to get it done by 18 points, a 3-goal gap. I feel like back at home, we haven't been the greatest at home at all this year. However, I feel like back at home versus the Dogs, we all know what happened last time we versus the Dogs at Optus. We came back from 40 points down in a final and got it done. However, I feel like we're just a little bit better than the Dogs, and away from home for the Doggies, I just don't see them getting it done. I reckon we'll run all over them at Optus Stadium on the Friday night, which is great to see the Dockers have a Friday night game. And I reckon this is going to be a good game as well. I feel like it might be a little low scoring, but the Dockers were able to surpass the 100 mark in total points last Friday when they versed the Suns. So hopefully a high scoring affair on our hands, but I just feel like the Dockers are just one step ahead of the Dogs in season 2023. Moving on to the Saturday games, we have Port Adelaide taking on West Coast at Adelaide Oval. Now the Eagles are, well, they're going to be bloody hoping for not an absolute smashing this week. They got thumped last week by 47 points. And to be fair, to put up a total of 89 points against the Cats and still lose by 47, that's some pretty positive signs for the West Coast Eagles. Now, obviously, this game was played at Adelaide Oval, and the Eagles were lost for the first half of the game, and they were just getting ran all over. And then second half, they sort of switched things around. Like, yes, Geelong still won by 8 goals, but there were a lot of positive signs to take back from West Coast's second half. However, the Power obviously did defeat the Doggies at home by 14 points in a wet weather clash. And I'm going to obviously tip the Power to get this one done. 98% of tippers have tipped Port Adelaide, and the odds are $1.08 to $8 in favour of Port Adelaide, obviously. For 17th, heading into round 6, and I'll be backing in the Power to get this done. I'm going to back the Power to get it done by 42 points at their home deck. They defeated the Dogs last week. They didn't look the best, however. I feel like the Eagles will show something, but the margin will just somehow extend out and keep extending out after the Eagles just have hiccup after hiccup. And I feel like the West Coast Eagles will put up a bit of a fight. Now, obviously, a lot of positive signs to take away from last week's clash against the Cats. However, Port Adelaide at home, they've just defeated the Doggies. In front of a home crowd, they just won't drop it to West Coast. The next game on the roster is at Manuka Oval, and we head over to witness the Giants taking on the Lions, 4:35 PM bounce. Now, this one's interesting. 6% of tippers have tipped GWS and 94% of tippers have tipped Brisbane. However, I'm actually going to be backing in the Giants in an upset. It's 8-3-12th, so ladder has really nothing to say. They're only 4 positions apart on the ladder, and the Giants only just surpassed Hawthorn by a 2-point gap on the weekend, while, well, Brisbane absolutely thumped the Roos by 75, and I feel like after that thumping, the Lions are going to be coming into this game feeling so confident that they're just going to get another smashing. However, at Manuka Oval, I don't know why, I'm tipping the Giants by 20 points. I feel like it'll be 80-something to 60-something. And I just feel like the Giants are getting up, and I don't know why. It's such a risky tip. However, because I'm so far down in like pretty much all the tipping comps I've entered in this year, I just need these little 1%ers that might come back and might help me raise a few positions, as everyone is going to obviously be tipping Brisbane. I just need this upset to happen for my tips and in order just for me to stay alive in, well, some of the most important tipping comms out there. The Giants obviously only coming off a 2-point win against the Hawks. I just feel like they're getting it done by 20 points at Manuka Oval. No one has played at Manuka Oval this year, so it's the first game being played there. And, well, the odds are so heavily in favour of the Lions coming off the back of an absolute thumping against the Roos. I don't know why. Brisbane away from home, we've seen this year, have been very, very weak. And the Giants at home haven't been too bad. Now, obviously, a new deck, Manuka Oval, first time being played here this year. However, Giants at home haven't been bad, and Brisbane away from home have been shocking. Saturday night footy at GMHBA, we head over to watch the Cats taking on the Swannies, 7:25 PM bounce down. And the Cats, well, as obviously I did mention before, they had a very big drop-off in the second half against the Eagles, and first game being played at GMHBA as well. So versing the Swannies, it's going to be a big task. It's going to be a big crowd as well on that Saturday night. It's 10th v 5th. And the Cats really, well, they've only just kick-started their season. They beat the Hawks last week by a whopping, what was it, 80-something points. And then they just defeated the Eagles by another smacking as well. And at their home deck, the crowd's going to be cheering them on. They have the odds to get this done. I'm tipping Sydney. Sydney on Friday night against Richmond looked absolutely electric. They ended up getting it done by 44 points. I tipped Richmond to win it, and I genuinely just didn't know the Swans were this bloody good. I watched a bit of the game after the Freo game, and they are so good, the Swannies. Like, they were just exploding out of everything. They were kicking snag after snag. The margin was like, it was like a draw, wasn't it? Or like 6 points in the last term, and they somehow won by 44. So I feel like the Swannies are going to run all over the Cats at their home deck. However, I don't know, the Cats have finally started to pick up some good form. I'm going to be backing in the Swans. Going to tip the Swannies to get it done by 38 points. A bit of a big margin, however, considering the way they're going this year, the Swans, they're definitely on talks for another grand final appearance. Heading into the Sunday games now, we head down to UTAS to watch the Hawks take on the Crows. 1:10 PM, Sunday Arvo footy. The Crows have definitely heavy favourites to get this one done. I'm going to be tipping the Crows. They looked electric on Thursday night. They defeated the Blues by 56 points, and Carlton have been a strong side this year. They started off Magic Round with a bang, and they were kicking snag after snag. They had 50 points on the board at quarter time, which is just insane. After quarter time, everything just seemed to slow down a little bit. The scoring slowed down, everything slowed down, and the Crows weren't able to get those easy goals out the back like they were able to do in the opening term. At UTAS, they did defeat North here the other week. However, against the Crows, who are an in-form side in season 2023, I don't think they'll be seeing a win this week. Back in the Crows to get this one done by 33 points. A nice and comfortable win on the Sunday Arvo for the Crows. Highlight footy now on the Sunday. We have the Blues and the Saints at Marvel Stadium. This one's going to be bringing in an absolute huge crowd. Carlton actually have the odds to get this one done somehow coming into this matchup. However, more tippers have tipped the Saints over the Blues. And after the Blues result last week, I don't see them getting this done. The Saints were so close to coming back against the Pies there on the Sunday Arvo. I'm going to be backing in the Saints straight away. I don't feel like the Saints are dropping these games. They are genuinely putting up great performances this year, the Saints. And look, they only lost against the Pies by a goal. Probably should have been a bigger margin, however, they ended up cutting that down in the end. And based on Carlton's previous form, I just don't think they're going to be able to compete against the Saints, who have been red hot. And at Marvel Stadium, they are a great side. Get back in the Saints to get it done by 16 points. I feel like it's going to be a ripping game at Marvel Stadium. However, the Saints will definitely be on top of the Blues all Arvo, I reckon, and they'll be able to get this one done quite comfortably. Last game on the Sunday is the Suns and the Kangaroos at Metricon Stadium, or Heritage Bank Stadium as it's called newly this year. 4:40 PM start. They only lost by 10 points against the Dockers on the weekend. However, they were up by, what was it, like 30 points or so. So, yeah, the Dockers obviously with the comeback victory. And the Suns looked pretty poor in that second half. It was just that last quarter where they pretty much just let everything go. I'm going to be backing the Suns, though, to get it done at home. They also beat the Cats there a few weeks back as the reigning premiers started 0-3. 75% of tippers have tipped the Suns in this matchup. It's 16th v 13th. The Suns are 16th, however, at home, let's be honest, they're just not dropping this game. And I just don't think the Roos will perform up to their expectations. I don't see the Roos getting this done up in Queensland. I'm back in the Suns to get this one done by 4 points. Now, I obviously said with a lot of confidence that the Roos aren't getting it done. I don't think they'll get it done. I reckon the Suns will hold on in a close one up in Queensland, and it'll come right down to the wire. The Roos will be down by about 20, 30 points, they'll bring it right down to the death. However, the time will just run out and they just weren't able to make the moves at the right time in order for them to get this one done. So I'm going to back in the Suns to get it done by 4 points. Now heading into the big games for the round, Melbourne v Richmond, Monday night footy at the MCG. If this isn't bringing out an absolute packed crowd, then I'm not sure what is. I'm going to be tipping Melbourne straight off the bat. It's 6 v 15th, and let's be honest, the Tigers haven't really shown much this year. Obviously, Melbourne did lose against Essendon on the weekend by 27 points. I reckon this is going to shape it out to be a pretty good contest. Obviously, last time Richmond played at the G, they just got done against the Dogs. So I feel like this one's going to be a close one. I'm going to be backing in the Ds, but I feel like the margin could be a bit close. I'm going to back the Ds to get it done by 22 points. However, it'll be a lot closer than what the scoreboard does suggest. I feel like it's going to be a ripping crowd there on the Monday night, and I will be working this game. Thank God I'll be able to get there and witness the atmosphere for myself. However, I reckon the Ds get it done by 22. And the last game, and one of the biggest games in the home and away fixture, it is the Pies taking on the Dons, 3:20 p.m. on the Tuesday for Anzac Day footy. So keen for this matchup. It'll be my second time working the Anzac Day game. We did work it last year, and bloody hell, that atmosphere is hard to beat. I'm going to be backing in the Pies to get this one done. Obviously, the Dons coming off the back of a pretty important win to shape up their season and to keep them in talks with definitely finals footy, top 4 finishes as well. The D's by 27 points. What is really going to shape it up to be an absolute ripping contest at the G on the Tuesday. The Pies are coming off a pretty uncertain win against the Saints, and the Dons are coming off a very strong win against the D's. However, Collingwood, let's be honest, they just don't drop these games. I don't see them losing Anzac Day footy. It's too big of an event for them to drop, especially against a side last year that really didn't show much, and they have definitely proven a lot this year. I shouldn't be talking about the past, but they've proven a lot this year, Essendon. They're doing really well to start off their season. However, Collingwood just don't drop these games of footy. Whenever it's a huge game, huge turnout, especially at the MCG, the fans will be behind them at their home deck and at their home game as well. They're going to have plenty of fans in the house. They just don't drop these important games. Collingwood get it done by 13, 14 points, one of the two. I don't think it'll be too big of a margin, as Essendon have proven to be a very good side this year, so they'll certainly put up a contest against one of the premiership favourites at the moment in Collingwood. However, the Pies, they just don't drop these important games. That's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. Also, subscribe to the channel down below if you are new. Hopefully some more content coming out throughout the week. I've got a few things planned. Make sure to keep your eye out for them. Anyway guys, I'll catch you all in the next video. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.